Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nonstop Talking with your girl here, Vivian Liu. I saw this Pokemon Go book tag a day after I participated in Abra Community Day, and I thought it was like a sign that I needed to do this book tag. So here I am giving it a try. This book tag was originally created by either Read or Read at Midnight. I will link her original post down below. Thank you for providing the graphics. I was originally going to wear one of my Pokemon t-shirts, but I was too lazy to change. So instead I brought out my Pikachus, and they will be accompanying me for this book tag. I actually got these at the Pokemon Center in Japan when they came out with the, I guess, a month and a Pikachu. This is the April Pikachu because April is when when school starts in Japan, hence them in their cute school uniforms, and they're actually sewed together so you can't break them apart. If I'm remembering it correctly, I think the friend that I went with that day, Tandy, got these for me. I don't think I actually bought them. I don't know. Let me know, Tandy. I think you're the ones who bought these, right? I didn't buy them. I don't, but they're super duper cute, and yeah, they're here for the video today. Sorry for that long tangent. Let's get started with this book tag. So the first one is Starters, the book that started your love for reading. Firstly, between these three starter Pokemons, if I had to choose, I would pick Charmander for obvious reasons. Charizard was so cool and had like this awesome story arc. My second choice would be Squirtle because I love how like the firefighting versions of them like work those stunner shades. As for the actual question, there's so many series I feel like I read when I was younger, which started my love for reading, such as Junie B. Jones or like Magic Treehouse, but I think the one that I really want to spotlight would be Babysitter's Club by Anne M. Martin. I love these books and this group of female friends. I remember like checking them out from my school library as like elementary school kid, and I remember my dad going to like the swap meet and trying to buy these for me for cheap, and I remember him getting some from his like friends whose daughter had like outgrown them, and I just loved everything about this. I love like the connection I had like with the series, and I love that the connection it like gave me with my dad. And I don't know, like, yeah, seriously, I think Babysitter's Club and my dad are like the reasons why I started reading, and I still have a few copies myself, and I read like the mystery spin-off as well, and I've even read the one about the little sister Karen, and yeah, they're in my memory. They were like really good. Prompt 2 is Pikachu, an icon classic that you will always love. Pikachu is adorable, but I wouldn't say like Pikachu is my favorite, sorry. But if I had to say something, it would be that I do think the original chubby Pikachu is way better or way cuter looking than the now slimmed down Pikachu. As for classics, I would say that my favorite required reading in high school is definitely To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. It was such an impactful novel, and the movie was pretty good too. And it was one of those books where I actually enjoyed the class discussions and analysis and looking for like the symbolism and like the deeper meaning. Now that I think about it, I'm long overdue for a reread. Prompt number 3 is Zubat, a book you lost interest in because it is literally everywhere. For me, I feel like Pidgey would be the better Pokemon representation for this prompt, but that's not the question. I don't think I've ever lost interest in a book because it showed up too much. So let me like just name a book I've lost interest in recently. During this quarantine period, I have like been cleaning out my shelves, like looking at books that like I no longer want to read, and then unhauling them after all of this is over. One of the books I am unhauling is Room by Emma Donoghue. I originally bought this so that I could read it before I watched the movie, but then I never got around, or I never mustered enough interest to get around to picking it up. And then now it's just gotten to this point where, like, if I was interested in the story, I really could just watch the movie. So that book will be showing up in a future unhaul video. Number 4, Ditto, a book that reminds you of other books but you still love anyways. Just real quick, don't you love those Ditto as other Pokemon plushies? They're just so cute and adorable, and well, I love them. Speaking of books full of tropes, I think books in general just utilizes tropes, and they try to make it feel new and special to the readers, or maybe the readers like pick up that book because they like that specific trope. Honestly, I'm like feel like I'm messing up on this prompt, and I don't have an answer that's immediately coming to my head, so I'm going to skip. Prompt 5 is Snorlax, a book or series you have not started because of sheer size. Snorlax is one of my favorites. He's just such a mood, and one of the things on my wish list is the Snorlax beanbag chair. A book series which is thick like Snorlax. The first one that comes to mind is probably Game of Thrones. I don't think I will ever read that book series, firstly because I was really intimidated by the size, and then secondly I have seen the show already, and third, is the book series ever gonna be completed? I don't know. Right now at this point, I'm just trying to still remember the show during its heyday, especially forgetting the finale. Prompt 6 is Gengar, a book that kept you up at night. Fun fact, when my aunt started playing Pokemon Go, she would call Snorlax Feidzai 1 and then Gengar Feidzai 2. And Feidzai in Cantonese means like fat or chubby boy. I'm trying to think if recently there was like a book which made me want to like push back sleep, and nothing really comes to mind, so I'm gonna go with an old answer that I've said before too many times, but it's the trilogy All for the Game by Nora Sakovic, in particular the second and third book in the series. I know I definitely stayed up reading the second and third book. This trilogy is super problematic and troublesome and damaging, but I love it so much. I love the messy aspects. I love the dramatic aspects. I love how broken and damaged each and every one of the main characters are. It's just I just love it. I don't know how to explain why I love it so much. It just really struck a chord with me, and I love like just the main crew, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I really want to reread it. Prompt 7 is Needle King, Needle Queen, your bookish OTP. This is a really tough question because I read a lot of romance novels, but I guess the first couple, looking at my shelves, which come to mind, Brina and Jake from The Risk, written by L. Kennedy. It's the second book in NA romance series titled Briar U, which is a spin-off of the Off-Campus series. They're both great. Highly recommend if you love NA sports romance. There's, in The Risk, there's Hate to Love, and then there's Fake Dating, which are like my two favorite romance tropes, and I just absolutely adored the way that it like happened in this. There was just so much chemistry between these two characters, and I really like them. I hope like they can have like a special. But yeah, I guess that answers the like trope question that I skipped earlier. Prompt 8 is Rapidash, a fire-hot, fast-paced read. I think Ponyta is like a cute yet simple name, and Rapidash is kind of clever. Something that is a quick read is probably also short. And what's shorter than a children's book? A children's book that I would like to recommend is A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo, written by Jill Twist and illustrated by E.J. Keller. I first heard about this from John Oliver's show, and I went on Amazon to try to buy it, and at that time, like, it was sold out, so I just had to keep waiting until Amazon told me it was finally in stock. I also went on Audible to purchase the audiobook for it. It's full cast and has like superstar names. Highly recommend the audiobook. So I have the audiobook, I have the physical book, and it just shows you how much I like support the story. Prompt 9, EEVEEs, a series you'll never get tired of seeing spin-offs for. EEVEEs are amazing, and I love being able to look at and admire all the different evolutions. Last Christmas, I actually bought my friend Jackie the Mega Construct EEVEE evolution set, and she got such a kick out of assembling it, so I like totally recommend that gift. Now for spin-offs. I believe that all good things must eventually come to an end. I feel like you should go out with a bang instead of milking it to death. Nonetheless, I think it would be really cool if Gallagher Girls by Ali Carter was to make a comeback or return somehow, or if Netflix would adapt it. It's this really cool series set in a female boarding school for spies. It's fun, it's exciting, it gets like really intense as you go, but it is very like YA, maybe like even a little middle grade. Personally, I think it's underrated, and that it has really nice covers. So yeah, so I would like to see this kind of make like a triumphant return, or see it be adapted into the small screen. Prompt 10 is MAGIKARP, a book or series that was surprisingly awesome. MAGIKARP goes through such a shocking glow up. My aunt used to call it Seiyu, which means a dead fish. A series which gets better over time. I want to say Saga, but I feel like I've been talking about Saga in a lot of the recent book tags I've been doing. Let me think of... Oh my god. Let me share with you an old manga series. Have you ever heard of Tokyo Crazy Paradise? I need to check to see if I like remembered the name correctly. I'll be back. Yes, it's Tokyo Crazy Paradise by Yoshiki Nakamura. You are in for a wild ride. I recommended this to my friend Ginny while I was reading it, and the both of us was like, we were just so wowed by how ridiculous the antics got, but at the same time we were just like, wow, this was really, really entertaining and enjoyable and crazy good fun. Yeah, it's insane. It's insanely good. I'm looking at Goodreads. There are 19 volumes, and I just really want to thank this prompt for triggering my memory of this old manga series, because right now I have such an urge to reread it. Prompt 11 is Legendary, an overhyped series you're still excited to read. I think it was my brother's professor who called Motress something on the lines of rotisserie chicken on fire or something like that. It was like really clever and really funny. I think I'm like butchering it, but yeah, I don't remember the exact nickname, but something on those lines. Anyways, of these three Legendary, I would say that Articuno is probably my favorite. As for my answer, I still haven't read Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. It's on my list and it's all over BookTube and everyone raves about it. I really want to read it, but I haven't finished Ruin and Rising, and I won't let myself pick up Six of Crows until I finish Ruin and Rising. So I will get to Ruin and Rising soon, and then I will get to Six of Crows very soon, and yeah, I will be able to be in the loop of that, and hopefully I will love it so I can be in the loop of like everyone loves it, and me too. 12 is Mew and Me Too, a collector's edition you wish you own. Do you still remember that movie that came out that was like about Mew and Mewtwo? I remember like being like really young, but I also remember watching it with my brother and my sister, and I think it was like my grandfather that took us to, well, the nearby theater that's like no longer there anymore. But yeah, memories. If I'm being honest, on my Amazon list I have a lot of pretty classics box sets on there that I want to buy, and eventually I will buy them. But will I read all of them eventually? That is another question. 13 is Poke-Egg, a debut novel you're excited for. Somewhat recently I pre-ordered comedian Daniel Sloss's new and probably first book, so I'm assuming it's his debut novel. Anyways, he's an awesome comedian. I got to see him live last year and he was fantastic. I love him and I'm so excited for his book. The title is Everyone You Hate Is Going to Die, and Other Comforting Thoughts of Family, Friends, Sex, Love, and More Things That Will Ruin Your Life. That was a mouthy title, but yeah, I'm super excited for it, and it should be coming out, I think, November of this year. 14 is Lure Module, which is an auto by author. Immediately the first two names I can think of is TJ Klune and Elle Kennedy, because right now on Amazon I have pre-ordered their books. For TJ Klune, I pre-ordered the Extraordinaries and Brother Song. They're both coming out this year and are written by TJ Klune, and I'm super duper excited for Brother Song. It's the final book in the Green Creek series, which is a male paranormal romance with shape-shifting werewolves, and I highly recommend it. As for Elle Kennedy, I recently pre-ordered The Dare, which is the fourth book in the Briar You series. The Risk, which I just talked about, is part of the Briar You series. Elle Kennedy is my favorite and probably the queen of NA sports romance novels, so definitely go check her out. 15 is Servers Down, a book release you've been waiting on forever. Oh, I like immediately know the answer to this because I pre-ordered the fourth volume of the English edition of Otakoi, or the English name, Love is Hard for Otaku, ages ago, and I keep getting emails of the release date being pushed back. I can actually check on Amazon right now, so when I pre-ordered this, give me a second. I pre-ordered this in January 2019. Tentatively, Amazon says that it will be released October of this year. Fingers crossed. This is a really good romance manga series about people who are like workforce age, and it's about a girl who's like a fujoshi, so she's into like BL and yaoi, but she's also like into like animes and just video games in general, and she's just trying to find love with someone who is like normal, and it's super fun and highly recommend. I believe the anime is on Hulu, and yeah, give the anime a try. The anime and the manga are like equally good. That's the last prompt. I hope you enjoyed my answers. Sorry, I actually had to film this super quick. My battery is dying and there's like no light out anymore, and yeah, so I just like had to rush through things, and I'm really sorry about that. Outro time. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in my next video whenever that is. Bye! Last Christmas, I actually bought my Fin. 10 is MAGIKARP.